Hello everyone, welcome to Mattwo's Random Reviews. I'm Mattwo's story writer, and Mattwo, back to you. Thanks, story writer. Anyway, in the meantime, Christmas is on its way, and seeing as I said the next few reviews would be Doctor Who themed, I guess that means it's Christmas special time. Story writer hasn't been feeling well lately, so you might only get one Christmas review, but we'll see. Roll the holiday intro. Modern Doctor Who had started a tradition of Christmas specials, although some are just more generally winter-themed than Christmas-themed, starting with the 10th Doctor's first adventure, The Christmas Invasion, which I'll be covering in this review. The episode starts with the mother of the Doctor's current companion, Rose Tyler, Jackie Tyler, preparing for Christmas. She laments over a present meant to be for Rose. We then cut to Rose's former boyfriend. Not sure if she broke up honestly, but I don't think so. Mickey, who thinks he heard the TARDIS and tells the inconsequential friend of his to turn down the music they were listening to. And indeed, he heard the TARDIS and runs off. But he's not the only one, as Jackie also heard it. The two wonder where the TARDIS is, but then it suddenly comes crashing down. Explosive regenerations tend to do that to the poor thing. The Doctor tells the two Merry Christmas, but they don't actually know who he is, as he looked different the last time they saw him, and he collapses on the floor, worn out from his regeneration, which is still in progress, by the way. Mickey asks where the Doctor is, and Rose explains, but Jackie doesn't understand and says that.
What do you mean that's the Doctor? Doctor Who?
Title drop. After the intro, Jackie says they have to take him to hospital. Rose argues with the typical alien monster in public hospital a stupid idea because movie said so logic. Also, 8th Doctor movie. Rose then explains that he has two hearts and both are working fine. Jackie is a moron and completely denies that possibility. Woman, you just saw a blue police box come crashing down out of nowhere. This is not the time to be questioning this kind of stuff. As the two leave, a bit of regeneration energy seeps out into space. This is actually important. Jackie asks how the regeneration works, but Rose doesn't know. Rose foolishly starts a bit of a distrust issue here. Ugh, really? Isn't it a bit too soon for this? She doesn't even know how much he changed. They notice Harriet Jones, a recurring character that they've met before, is now the Prime Minister and is on the BBC News. Amusingly, she's defending the decision to send a probe into space or something, because the probe is already on its way to Mars, but a hole in what looks like the surface sucks it in. You know, that would explain a lot, if that is actually Mars. Mickey and Rose are going to do some Christmas shopping. Rose comments on things like how Christmas is easily forgotten while traveling in the TARDIS, and Mickey sarcastically jokes about how much he hates her talking about it. Mickey makes Rose promise to stop thinking about the Doctor and their adventures and just focus on Christmas. This, of course, would wind up being a promise she can't keep because something obviously will happen, and indeed no sooner did she say that than Rose starts looking at these trumpeters who are wearing creepy Santa masks, and they look at her and shoot flamethrowers, bullets, and rockets at her. One of them shoots a rocket and manages to make a Christmas tree fall on it, knocking its mask off. God, those masks are creepy. They catch a taxi. Rose tries to warn her mother, but that they're after the Doctor. but she's on the phone, so Rose gets a busy signal instead. I'm not really surprised. It's Christmas time after all. Of course she'd be busy on the phone. They make it back to Jackie's house, but Rose notices an out-of-place tree. The tree comes to life and attacks.
Oh, you're kidding me. Help me.
What, is this some kind of cheesy 90s movie? Seriously. The doctor reveals the tree was remote controlled and wants to find out who's controlling it. They see the trumpeters from earlier, but they teleport away. The doctor compares them to pilot fish, which means a bigger threat is coming, and explains that his regeneration is still in progress and that they can smell his regeneration energy like a shark can smell blood. The doctor says he needs something, which leads Jackie to frantically start guessing.
I'm having a neural implosion. I need...
What do you need?
I need...
Just say it. Tell me. Painkillers?
I need...
Do you need aspirin? Codeine? Paracetamol? Oh, I don't know. Pepto-Bismol?
I need...
Liquid paraffin? Vitamin C? Vitamin D? Vitamin E?
I need...
Is it food? Something simple. Bowl of soup? Nice bowl of soup? Soup in a sandwich? Oh, soup in a little ham sandwich?
I need you to shut up.
Me too. I hate her so much. After that, it's explained that it's Christmas Day and that his condition is worsening as he only has one heartbeat. Oh god, he didn't become half human again, did he? Because that would tick a lot of fans off. Meanwhile, the British space program managed to re-establish contact with the Mars probe, thinking that they would get images from the surface, and Mikey looks up the meaning of pilot fish, even though the doctor already explained it. That meant the bigger threat is coming. Really? Just as soon as it explained that the pilot fish never swim far from sharks, a pirate signal comes in from the television. For those of you who don't know, that doesn't mean stealing cable. Indeed, an alien face comes on the screen and growls. We then cut to random newscasts, including a BBC station saying that this only happened to BBC One. Excuse me a moment. Why, BBC? The world does not revolve around you! Why the hell would an alien hack your channel only? No! Just no! And, of course, the guy who sent the probe was brought in the unit, a top-secret military organization meant for dealing with aliens who the doctor has actually worked for once when he was stuck on what was then present-day Earth. The probe guy meets Harriet Jones.
Harriet Jones, Prime Minister.
Well, yes, I know who you are.
That running gag will never get old. Of course, there's already a cover story, easy enough to cover that thing up as a hoax after all. Harriet Jones explains to the guy that aliens are indeed real and that her autobiography is actually banned from being published as a result.
I don't think we've been introduced. Harriet Jones, Prime Minister.
Yes, I know who you are.
Okay, maybe that one was a bit too quick. Turns out the probe was broadcasting the signal, even though it's meant to take pictures, not videos. As far as I know about probes, it seems legit. Does not explain why it was only broadcasting the BBC One, too, as we never actually saw the probe's imagery on the television. Also, I guess that was a ship earlier, not Mars.
Of course not. Martians look completely different.
Actually, they're called Ice Warriors, and they look like this. Or in modern Doctor Who, they look like this. There's also the Flood, which looks like water unless they possess someone. What? It's Doctor Who. Of course they've already covered life on Mars. Anyway, the alien ship is on its way to Earth at high speeds. Mickey hacked the unit and is also saying this and tells Rose. The ship contacts the Earth but is speaking in an alien language. The unit later tells Harriet's assistant to activate the translation software, and Rose says that the TARDIS should be translating them, but apparently the Doctor shares a special bond with the TARDIS and his current state must be affecting the translation thing. The American president wants to take control of this situation, but Harriet Jones says this.
You can tell the president, and please use these exact words. He's not my boss, and he's certainly not turning this into a war.
Hey, I'm American. I'm not offended. Hell, he probably would, especially if it was one of the Bushes. Otherwise, the aliens would probably have to have something America wants, like the oil in the Middle East. Or bananas. No, seriously, go look up the Banana Wars. It'll put some perspective on how you view Donkey Kong. I'll link a game theory video in the annotation at the end of the video. Anyway, Harriet and the unit leader talk about how the Doctor shows up, and Harriet mentions Torchwood and that she shouldn't know about it. After the unit guy leaves to tell Torchwood to take action, the assistant shows up with the translation. Those of you who are familiar with the spin-off series know this is not Torchwood 3, it's Torchwood 1. Torchwood 3 is in Cardiff, this is London.
We own you. We now possess your land, your minerals, your precious stones. You will surrender, or they will die. Sycorax strong, Sycorax mighty, Sycorax rock, as in the modern sense they rock.
They will die. Not you will die, they will die. Who's they?
I don't know, but it is the right personal pronoun. It's they.
Send them a reply. Tell them this is a day of peace on planet Earth. Tell them we extend that peace to the Sycorax. And then tell them this planet is armed and we do not surrender.
Wow, so much for not starting a war. Meanwhile, Rose...
The old Doctor, the proper Doctor, he'd wake up. He'd save us.
You really love him, don't you?
My god, I'm getting a migraine from all this stupid! A new day dawns and the Sycorax respond. Turns out that was some form of mind control that spread over the world with only certain people, of 1/3 of the population. Sycorax are going to make them jump off the highest nearby building if Earth doesn't surrender. It turns out that all of the people they controlled were a positive blood, and as it turns out there was a positive blood sample in the probe, which allowed the Sycorax to control the blood. Harriet Jones then makes a public announcement and begs the Doctor for help, which just makes Rose more upset.
He left me, Mum. Left me, Mum.
God damn it, Rose. Have a little faith, why don't you? A sonic wave rocks the Earth as the ship reaches the atmosphere. I honestly don't know how that happened. Rose decides that they need to move the Doctor and run away as the Sycorax contact the Earth again.
The leader of this world, stand forward.
I'm proud to represent this planet.
Come aboard.
Well, how do I do that?
What's happening?
I would imagine it's called a teleport.
It's a helmet. They might be like us.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Anyone else think they look like a mix of the two worst Power Ranger villains of all time without the helmet? The probe guy tries to reason with them.
With respect, sir. The human race is taking its first step towards the stars, but we are like children compared to you. Children who need help. Children who need compassion. I beg of you now, show that compassion.
I really don't know why he thought that would work.
That man was your prisoner. Even your species must have articles of war forbidding...
Anyone else have anything to say?
Harriet Jones, Prime Minister.
Yes, we know who you are.
Oh, god damn it, Harriet Jones.
If I do surrender, how would that be better?
1/2 is sold into slavery, or 1/3 dies.
What, only a half? I don't know, that definitely sounds like a better deal. Yeah, it's still definitely a bad one. Rose and company moved the Doctor into the TARDIS, however Rose can't fly yet, lest they risk the universe getting torn in half.
Maybe not.
So what do we do, just sit here?
That's as good as it gets. Right, here we go. Nice cup of tea. The solution to everything.
Tea. Like we're having a picnic while the world comes to an end. It's very British.
You know, that would be so much more offensive if they weren't British themselves. They try activating the TARDIS monitor to see what's going on, but instead send out a beacon that the Sycorax can follow, and of course the Sycorax teleports the TARDIS onto their ship, much to Jackie's dismay. Yay! Rose and Mickey are unaware of this, and Rose goes outside the TARDIS and of course gets captured while Mickey goes as well, and he leaves a thermos behind which starts leaking onto the TARDIS hardware, and it looks like the Doctor's regeneration continues, probably because he's inside of the TARDIS, which as we know is probably an essential part of the regeneration process. Rose tries to do what the Doctor would do, and...
I address the Sycorax. According to Article 15 of the Shadow Proclamation, I command you to leave this world with all the authority of the Slavian Parliament of Brexicorico and the Guelph Confederacy as sanctioned by the mighty Jagrafess and the Daleks. Now leave this planet in peace!
Wow, that is so many levels of stupid. Needless to say, none of the Sycorax were impressed. The main Sycorax starts talking English, but claims he never dirtied his tongue with their language. He actually says it like that, which can of course only mean one thing.
Did you miss me?
Just can't get the staff. Now you just wait. I'm busy.
Oh god, Doctor, you have no idea how much I missed you this episode. Thank you for that awesomeness.
First things first. Be honest. How do I look? Am I ginger?
No, you just sort of brown.
I wanted to be ginger. I've never been ginger. And you, Rose Tyler, fell how good you were. You gave up on me. Oh, that's rude. That's what man I am now. Am I rude? Rude and not ginger.
Yeah, that was rude of her. You tell him, Doctor. The Doctor explains that he's still the same person as a doubting Harriet Jones and convinces her with a recount of their previous encounter. The Sycorax, of course, interrupts.
If I might interrupt.
Yes, sorry. Hello, big fella.
Who exactly are you?
Well, that's the question. A great big threatening button. A great big threatening button which must not be pressed under any circumstances. Am I right? Let me guess, it's some sort of control matrix. Hold on, what's feeding it? And what have we got here? Blood? Yeah, definitely, blood. Human blood, A positive, with just a dash of iron. Ha. But that means blood control. Blood control! Oh! I haven't seen blood control for years!
Although his past encounter with blood control has been left untold, the doctor presses the button which frees the A positives and reveals that blood control is like hypnosis, which means that it can't be used to force people to commit suicide. The Sycorax says that he could just summon an armada, but the doctor tries to reason with him. To the doctor's credit, he was asleep this entire time and does not know that past attempts at this failed.
Well, yeah, you could, yeah. You could do that, of course you could. But why? Look at these people. These human beings. Consider their potential. From the day they arrive on the planet and blinking step into the sun. There is more to see than can ever be seen. More to do than... No, hold on. Sorry, that's the Lion King. But the point still stands. Leave them alone.
Or what?
Or... I challenge you.
For the record, this is normal for the doctor. Plus, it's a new regeneration, and like he said, he probably doesn't even know what he is doing because he has no idea what he is like. And he was spot on about being rude, as he seems to cuss at the Sycorax in the foreign language that the TARDIS doesn't translate. He sword fights with the Sycorax and they take the fight outside. Eventually he gets his hand cut off and his sword falls. However, his regeneration is actually still in progress, so he can just regenerate his hand. Rose throws him a new sword and the sword fight starts again. The doctor wins, but the Sycorax, being a generic warrior type, says to kill him. The doctor instead commands him to leave and never return. The Sycorax charges at the doctor, but the doctor throws a satsuma he found in his robes that he was wearing at a button, which causes the Sycorax to plummet to his death without a second thought. Why do they even have that button? For those of you who want to complain about all of this, the fourth Doctor of all doctors snapped a guy's neck, and there's been several cases of Doctor firing guns in classic Doctor Who. Check out the annotations at the end of this video. PG-13 warning for the gun video. The Doctor then makes a declaration to the other Sycorax as the victor.
By the ancient rites of combat, I forbid you to scavenge here for the rest of time. And when you go back to the stars and tell others of this planet, when you tell them of its riches, its people, its potential, when you talk of the Earth, then make sure that you tell them this. It is defended.
They're then teleported back to the surface of the Earth. The ship is flying off. The Doctor talks about how the Earth is drawing attention to itself. A heartwarming moment happens, and then this happens.
It's a message from Torchwood. They say they're ready.
Tell them to fire.
Fire at will.
Let me tell you something, Harriet Jones, Prime Minister. If you want to avoid a war, that is not how you do it. She reasons that the Sycorax would tell others about Earth, more threats will come, and then tries to justify it as revenge murder like complete moron. Needless to say, the Doctor is PO'd by this. He then declares he can bring down the British government, or just Harriet Jones, I guess, because that's not actually what he meant at all. Takes off the assistant's earpiece and whispers the 6 words. Don't you think she looks tired? Harriet Jones demands to know what he said, but the assistant claims ignorance and the doctor ignores her and walks off. The episode nears its end with a touching scene with sort of a slow, feel-goody, Christmassy song as the doctor chooses his new outfit. The Tylers and Mickey are celebrating Christmas Eve, even though it was mentioned as already Christmas Day, not even going to touch that one, and the doctor finally decides on his new outfit, one of the two he would wear for the course of this incarnation, then goes to join the others. He and Rose puts on some paper crowns. Wait, paper crowns? Apparently there's these Christmas crackers that these things come out of. I'm American, so I basically know nothing about this sort of thing, even though for all intents and purposes, Americans should probably not be excluded from this tradition, considering that all of the places that have this sort of thing have British influence, and, America is British colonies. Well, at least the United States doesn't have this kind of thing. I mean, Canada does, but we don't in the States. Anyway, Harriet Jones comes on TV and there's talk about how she's unfit for duty as Prime Minister due to health concerns. She claims she's fine, but as we learn later, that's definitely not going to help her case. Junkie gets a call and they all go outside. It looks like it's going to be a white Christmas, but the doctor explains that is not snow, but ashes from the spaceship. Wow, morbid. Rose decides to keep traveling with the doctor, much to Mickey's dismay, and the episode ends with the doctor pointing and saying that they're going to go in a general that-away direction. This episode was kinda mediocre. The doctor, Harriet Jones, her assistant, and unit guy were really the only even remotely interesting characters, but aside from the doctor, this really isn't saying much. There have been a handful of Doctor Light adventures, some of them like Midnight or Blink didn't really need the characters to do what the story had to do, and they definitely didn't need the Doctor to come in at the last minute to save the day. And Blink actually had someone else save him. Both were kind of horror-ish episodes, interestingly enough. Though decent characters definitely helped greatly in the case of Midnight, which otherwise been more boring than it already was. And of course, one of the biggest problems was Rose and Jackie Tyler. Rose has hardly been one of the best Doctor Who companions. The other major problem I have with this episode is that the Sycorax never noticed that their champion never returned, and Harriet Jones simultaneously gets what's coming to her and her redemption in a completely unrelated story. I would have preferred to see the Sycorax Armada come to Earth, declare war, and Harriet Jones would have to own up to her mistake, probably being put in charge of the situation due to her past experience with them, as the Doctor would be reluctant to help her after what she did. I give the Christmas Invasion around 3 out of 5-ish. I'm still not good with number ratings. Until next time, stay merry. Oh, by the way, the X in Xmas actually does mean Christ. The Greek letter chi, which looks like an X, is actually shorthand for Christ. So, if you want to complain about that as a Christian, or if you think you're actually being politically correct by using it, you are wrong.
Well, I woke up today, and the world was a restless place. It could have been that way for me. And I wandered around, and I thought of your face, that Christmas looking back at me. Today was just like every other day, 'cause today has been the best day, everything I ever dreamed.
Jones Prime Minister.
Well, yes, I know who you are.
Yes, I know who you are.
Yes, we know who you are.